Hello and welcome to Classroom in a Book. My name is Carmen and I've been a primary school teacher for over 30 years. Today we're going to be exploring activities for maths and literacy based on Room on the Broom by Julia Donaldson and Alex Scheffler. You can find me reading the story Room on the Broom on my YouTube channel. It's called Room on the Broom Part 1. For today's activities you'll just need pens, paper, any kind of paper for drawing or writing on. I always use rolls of old lining paper. If you've got a spare magazine lying around that you can cut up, then that might be useful as well. And of course, if you've got the book. Today, we're going to be looking at the alphabet. We're going to be looking at consonants and vowels, CVC words, question marks and how to use them. We're also going to be looking at partitioning numbers in maths and simple word problems. Children in reception will start learning to read CVC words. And before we can do that, we need to understand what the alphabet is and how an alphabet is made up. This is the alphabet. It has 26 letters in it. 5 of those letters are vowels: A, E, I, O and U. All the other letters are consonants. CVC words are words that are made up of 2 consonants and 1 vowel. In Room on the Broom, you've got the word cat. Cat is k, at, consonant, vowel, consonant. Cat. Dog. Consonant, vowel, consonant. Og, dog. Hat. Consonant, vowel, consonant. At, hat. Yes. Consonant, vowel, consonant. S, yes. Bow. Consonant, vowel, consonant. And beg. Consonant, vowel, consonant. I'm going to show you a game that you can do with your young children at home in order to get them reading and spelling and making their own CVC words. This activity is about building your own CVC words, and it's a really fun thing for children to do. The only thing you're going to need is some cut up squares of paper or card, or you can even do it with an old magazine. Find a magazine and cut out the letters, and then you can use them for this game as well. Split the alphabet by writing it into vowels, A, E, I, O, U, and all of the other consonants. I've just done a few now to demonstrate. Read through the story again with your child and ask them to pick out words that are consonant, vowel, consonant. Here we have the witch had a cat. Cat. Consonant, vowel, consonant. Sound it out. K, a, t, cat. That's your first CVC word. Once you've picked out your CVC words, to extend the activity, you can use pieces of paper to draw pictures to match up to your CVC words. This is a word matching game that I like to do with young children. It consolidates their CVC words, but it also gets them to think about the sounds of words. Throughout the book, there are many words that rhyme. For instance, in this paragraph here, we have, then out of the bushes on thundering paws, there bounded a dog with the hat in his jaws. I would ask a child which 2 words rhyme, and I'm quite sure they would say paws and jaws. I've gone through the book and I've written down in 2 columns the rhyming words I found on each page. So paws is there, and I would ask them to pick out the word and join it that rhymes, paws and jaws. Another one, cat. And which word in this column rhymes with cat? Cat found, cat blue, cat cloak, cat bog, cat hat, cat wand, cat jaws, cat beak. Yes, cat and hat. They rhyme. Once you've completed this activity, it would be quite nice to get the children who you're working with to get a pen and ask them to tick the words that are CVC words, consonant, vowel, consonant, and hopefully they would pick hat and cat, and there are quite a few others as well that they can pick out. So it's a really nice activity to consolidate CVC words and words that rhyme. This activity is about question marks. Children from Key Stage 1 onwards will be learning about question marks, how to recognise them, what they are for, and where to put them when they are doing some emerging writing. So question marks are to do with questions that are asked in a text. They let you know that a question is being asked. And we often have a clue that something's going to be a question when we look at the start of the sentence. Question words are things like did, who, what, where, when, and how. A good activity to get your children thinking about questions and how to use question marks is to turn some of the statements in Room on the Broom into questions. So for instance, on the first page, the witch had a cat and a very tall hat. I'm going to turn the witch had a cat into a question. I'm adding speech marks and I'm asking the question, what animal did the witch have? I then add a question mark to let you know it's a question, and then I close the punctuation. I close the speech marks or inverted commas. Both are correct. Speech marks and inverted commas, both are correct. So I've turned that statement into a question. The next statement that I've turned into a question is, and long ginger hair which she wore in a plait. I've turned that statement into a question. I've opened my speech marks and I have said, how did the witch wear her hair? Question mark, close the punctuation, close speech marks, inverted commas. The question mark will always go inside the speech marks. The speech marks close the sentence. The next statement I'm going to turn into a question is, when the wind blew so wildly, it blew off her hat. I've turned that into a question. I've opened my speech marks, my question with speech marks, and I have written, what happened when the wind blew wildly? Question mark to say I'm asking a question, and close speech marks. You can go through the book, finding as many statements as possible and turning them into questions. In my previous videos, I've looked at verbs. And so also it is a good idea to just go back over through the text and find verbs. You can ask your child to find the verbs, the doing words. I've picked out some here that you will find in the text, and I'm sure you can find very many more. Wagged, purred, grinned and dropped. It's always a good idea to make sure you go back over and consolidate any previous learning you've done before. Word problems and solving word problems are part of the curriculum from early years and foundation stage through Key Stage 1 and Key Stage 2. Word problems in maths require children to read, understand and solve the problem by using an element of maths. This can be done practically, using pencil and paper, and as the children get older, mentally. Let's start with a problem that we could use with early years and foundation stage children. The witch walks 3 miles, then decides to walk another 2 miles. How many miles has she walked in total? With very young children, you would read them the problem, discuss it, and then use practical equipment to work out. So let's break it down. The witch walks 3 miles. I'm using crayons. 1, 2, 3 miles. Then she decides to walk another 2 miles. 1, 2. How many miles has she walked in total? You can use total altogether, and then you would count. She has walked 3 miles, 1, 2, 3. Add 2 miles, 1, 2, equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In total, or altogether, the witch has walked 5 miles. That's a very simple example of a word problem that's been solved using practical equipment. Let's look at a word problem that children in Key Stage 1 may encounter. First of all, we're going to start by reading and understanding the question. The frog hopped 5 miles. The cat walked 5 miles and the dog walked 5 miles. How many miles have they travelled together? The children have to work out how many miles the animals have travelled together. And they could do this practically by adding 5, 5 and 5. Counting on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Children in Upper Key Stage 1 will maybe understand at this stage their 5 times tables and therefore would be able to go 5, 10 and 15. Some children may be able to work it out without using practical equipment and understand that they can say 5, 10 and 15, and that they will understand that the frog, the cat and the dog have travelled together 15 miles. You can change this, adding miles and taking away miles. By the time that the children are in Key Stage 2, they'll be working on solving more difficult word problems. Again, reading it very carefully to understand what the question is asking them to do. 40 dogs got on the broom, 11 dogs got off at the pond and 9 dogs got on. So first of all, they're going to work out 40 dogs, take away 11 and then add 9. The second part of the problem is then 14 dogs got on at the park and 27 dogs got off. How many dogs are left on the broom? The children can use pencil and paper to add and subtract in order to find the answer. Older children in Year 6 should be able to work that out mentally. For now, have a lovely day whatever you're doing. Enjoy your reading and I hope to see you here again soon.